With the new year upon us, it's time to take a look back at the films that made 2012 great. With that said, let's get started. Coming in at number 10 is Comic-Con, Episode 4, A Fan's New Hope. Morgan Spurlock drops controversy for a change in this documentary to bring us a light-hearted film chronicling the massive pop culture event known only as Comic-Con. We get an interesting insight into the convention, its origins, and the issues it presents to people running the show, and for those who go there. But the most endearing element of this film is its subplot about a group of people going there, ranging from fans, artists, writers, collectors, and even lovers. The film charmingly shows a universal love for comics and pop culture, because despite occupation and age, the love of the art is what makes us all fans.
I'm practically vibrating right now. I feel like I'm the Flash and I can just move through solid objects.
If I can go back in time and tell like 11-year-old me, like, one day not only do you go to Comic-Con, you go to Comic-Con every year, so much so that like you get greeted by Stan Lee when you show up.
Coming in at number 9 is The Woman in Black. I was never a fan of the cast of the Harry Potter movies until this year, when many of them stepped up their game with amazing films, starting with this one. The Woman in Black brings a surreal and classic sense of fear and dread into horror films that the genre has been lacking for quite some time due to the overflow of Steadicam movies and easy cash-ins. Featuring excellent cinematography, outstanding musical score, and an atmosphere that is out of this world, and you have one of the best horror films of the year and in a very long time. When the mere notion of a horror film's area can generate tension, you know you have something good on your hands. But when that very same film can also further scare you without actually ever showing you anything, then you've got a brilliant mastery of horror and its psychology.
The Woman in Black.
Number 8, 21 Jump Street. Whoever cut the trailer for this film needs to be fired, because they did an awful job at not showing the great humor and wit of this film. Seeing the trailers made it look out to be like some half-assed Superbad ripoff with cops. But upon seeing it, I was proven wrong and eased into the funniest comedy of the year. Showing that Channing Tatum can actually act and show range, 21 Jump Street proves to be an excellent modern-day buddy cop film, and a faithful adaptation of its source material. Add a funny cast, great writing, witty humor, and a hilarious and unexpected cameo, and you've got yourself one hell of a great time.
For a police program from the 80s. You idiots are officially transferred.
Where do we report?
Down on Jump Street. 21 Jump Street.
You are here because you some Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus looking motherfuckers. You will be going in as undercover high school students.
Kids are weird these days. What the fuck are those things?
You have exceptional muscle tone there, young man. When'd you go through puberty? Like it's 7 or something?
Number 7, The Cabin in the Woods. Why anyone would delay any project from Joss Whedon is beyond me, because whoever put this film on the shelf since 2008 has to be clinically insane, because Cabin in the Woods is one of the most pleasing surprises in horror in years. With a perfect understanding of horror and its rules, the film makes excellent use of scares, humor, and wit, using its excellent writing, great cast of characters, and an excellent cast of then up-and-coming actors who added their own personal quirks to already well-written characters. To boot, the film has one of the most amazing third acts in all of horror history, and when it hits you, your jaw will hit the ground. Never have I heard of someone being insane enough to make a literal war of nightmares with 100 years of horror in it until I saw this movie.
This isn't right. We should split up.
Yeah, good idea.
Really?
We gotta get out of here.
Somebody sent those things here to get us.
You're missing the point. I want to see us punished.
Number 6, The Dark Knight Returns. Fuck The Dark Knight Rises. If you want to see a real Batman film this year, and one that tells the story of an old and retired Batman coming back to Gotham to save it from a slew of threats, then see this film, instead of the sleep-inducing pill that is known only as Nolan's last Batman film. Oh, and when I mention this film, I'm talking about both parts together to complete the film, and not any one part in particular. The Dark Knight Returns brilliantly captures the spirit and story of Batman's return with perfection, which was what The Dark Knight Rises tried to do and failed.
No more!
All the people I've murdered by letting you live.
I never kept count.
I did.
I know. And I love you for it. It's finally here, isn't it? The moment we both dreamed about. Oh, don't tell me you're gonna fall asleep before we finish. You have gotten old, haven't you? Not quite how I imagined it, but we can still end on a high note.
That one scene alone captures more of the story than Nolan was trying to tell with his entire movie. Add great voice work from an all-star cast of actors, intense musical score, great animation, excellent pacing, great writing, and you get the must-see Batman film of the year. But despite all of this, the best element of the film was its ability to properly adapt its source material and use the Batman as a means to make a sociological and psychological commentary on the world, as Frank Miller did with his novel.
You're in trouble now. Go ahead. Say this has never happened to you before.
Shut up.
Make me. Come on. Finish me. It doesn't matter. I win. I made you lose control. And they'll kill you for it. See you in hell.
To miss out on this movie is to deny yourself the best Batman movie since The Dark Knight, and one of the greatest animated comic features and Batman films to date.
It ends tonight.
Number 5. Dredd. It's truly a sad thing when amazing and deserving movies get denied their chance to shine, such as Dredd did, because rarely do studios put the level of love and attention found in this film in others. Dredd perfectly reboots the franchise into a serious and gritty tale, as it was always meant to be. While boasting a simplistic tale and plot, it is the layers and means of its very story that show its complexity. Add excellent performances from the entire cast, an intelligent use of 3D, stunning cinematography, a great score, humorous wit, great writing, and an obvious love for the character and source material from Karl Urban, and you have one of the best comic book films of the year that deserves all your attention if you have yet to see it. Number 4. Django Unchained. Dropping the N-bomb like it's nobody's business, Django Unchained gives us a retro-stylized look at a Western film from the mind of the talented madman known only as Quentin Tarantino. As with all of his films, the strongest element is found in his writing and dialogue, and Django is no different. The banter between characters are great, and the first 10 minutes of the film aims to prove that. Half comedy with a dark sense of humor and half Western, the film pays its respect to the Western films of the 70s. By way of its themes and music, as well as the exploitation cinema style that rose to popularity during the same time, which Tarantino is so fond of. Add amazing and Oscar-caliber performances from Samuel L. Jackson and Leonardo DiCaprio, and you have one of the best westerns to come out in quite some time.
Yes!
Gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
How do you like the bounty hunting business?
Kill white folks and they pay you for it? What's not to like? I like the way you die, boy.
He is a rambunctious sword, ain't he?
Number 3, Hitchcock. The fact that this movie was not nominated for the Oscars it deserved was a huge insult to film, as Hitchcock is one of the best movies of the year, and Anthony Hopkins most certainly deserved to be nominated for Best Actor because his portrayal of Alfred Hitchcock was so dead-on accurate that it's creepy, because it was as if the man came to life, as Hopkins fully looked and sounded like the man. This is acting at its very best, boasting an excellent cast of Oscar-proven actors, excellent pacing, great writing, wit, and intelligence, and you have one of the greatest biopics about one of the greatest directors in history.
You shouldn't wait till halfway through. Kill her off after 30 minutes.
Wow.
Why are you letting him do something so tasteless?
Don't upset yourself, darling. It's only a bloody movie.
More anger! More!
You're married to a man obsessed by murder.
This will not be released in this country.
Show me some damn footage now! I'm under extraordinary pressures on this picture, and the least you could do is give me your full support!
We've mortgaged our house! I am your wife. I celebrate with you when the reviews are good. I cry for you when they are bad. And I put up with those people who look through me as if I were invisible because all they can see is the great and glorious genius Alfred Hitchcock.
How does it end?
I promised Mother I wouldn't tell.
Oh, you imp. You've got nudity in there.
While her breasts were rather large, it was a challenge not to show them.
Number 2, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. To call this film amazing is an understatement, as The Perks of Being a Wallflower is not only one of the most perfect films you can see, but it is most certainly one of the most relatable films to come out in years. With an excellent cast of rising stars, the film boasts perfect and endearing performances from its entire cast. The film also is handled with great care and detail, as it was directed by the writer of its book, showing people that leaving the original source material alone can generate a strong film. A grossly engaging film, Perks will tug at your heartstrings and nostalgia as it reminds you of your youth, where you were, are, and are going. Truly a brilliantly beautiful film.
Why do I and everyone I love pick people who treat us like we're nothing?
We accept the love we think we deserve.
You see things, and you understand. You're a wallflower.
I didn't think anyone noticed me. I know there are people who say all these things don't happen. I know these will all be stories someday. But right now, we are alive. And in this moment, I swear we are infinite.
Number 1, The Avengers. Holy shit is the only way I could describe this movie, as I submit to the god of all nerdom that is Joss Whedon. The Avengers is one of the most ridiculously amazing films and comic book adaptations that I have ever seen in my life. There are only a handful of times where I was in such a shocking state of awe that I couldn't move, and this film was one of them. Being a comic book fan, the movie hit extreme brownie points with me, as it did faith to its comic book source material in the most epic of ways. Waiting several years for the movie was most certainly worth the wait, and it met all of the hype, as the Avengers took everyone for one hell of a thrill ride that never let go from start to finish. Featuring an all-star cast of Oscar-nominated and caliber actors, the film is undoubtedly one of the best action and comic book films ever made. I mean, there's excellent merging of CGI and practical effects, great use of ad-libbing, a tight and well-written script, great humor, amazing set pieces and action, clear and beautiful cinematography, great pacing, and an excellent handling of what had to be a tremendous task of a movie are just some of the many reasons that made this film so great, and I personally can't wait to see what Marvel has in store for its Phase 2 slew of movies if they continue down this path of quality and patience. Well, that wraps up my list of the top 10 best films of the year. What were some of your favorites? As always, sound off in the comments section below, and for more content, swing over to webofcinema.com.